begin our makeup look today, we are going to be priming, and for that I am using my Nivea Pro Shave Balm for Men. For foundation today, I am using my Kat Von D's Lock It Foundation in Light 45 and only applying this to the top portion of our face. Concealer, I am using my Bye Bye Under Eye by IT Cosmetics in the shade Light, and I am blending that out with a damp beauty sponge. Now I'm going to set that, and I am using my Coty Airspun powder in translucent to do so, and once that has sat for a while, we are going to dust away with a large powder brush. Now I'm going to press the rest of my foundation in with my Smashbox Halo powder in the shade Fair. Next, I'm going to bring some warmth into my face. I'm going to take my Hoola bronzer from Benefit Cosmetics and just add a little dimension into our top portion of our face. For eyebrows, I am using my Anastasia of Beverly Hills DipBrow in dark brown, and I am starting with the most product on the tail end of my eyes and then gradually fading that out towards the inner portion of our eyebrows, and I am setting that with my NYX Brow Gel. Now I am going to add some highlight to underneath of our eyebrow. I'm going to be using my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye again with a concealer brush. Before I started with my eyeshadows, I did put a second bake down so that it catches any of the fallout from the shadows that we're going to be using, and first I applied the shade Laetus all over my entire lids. Now I'm going to be grabbing the shade Ludwin, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade, just blending this right above my crease. Next, I'm dipping into the shade Succubus, and I'm keeping this really tight into the crease of my eye. This is just going to add some depth and dimension to our eye socket. Using Blood Milk from Kat Von D's Serpentina palette, I am going to place this all over my lids. Now I'm going to dip back into Ludwin and Succubus, and I'm just going to blend that out and make sure everything looks like it's melting together. And then I'm going to take the shade Shax, and I am going to kind of smoke out my lash line. This is just a nice matte black, and it's going to give some depth and dimension to the eye. I'm going to wipe away my second bake along with any of the fallout from the shadows that we have applied. Now we're going to begin with our face painting. I'm taking my Muron Paradise AQ Pro palette, and I am going to start off with the shade Red and begin creating our rose. I always like to have a reference point in front of me, and roses are actually pretty easy to draw. You can't really mess them up too bad. Just keep all of your little C shapes or your squiggly lines pretty tight together, and you can create a pretty decent looking rose. For this particular look, I was really inspired by, I saw a painting the other day, and it was like a old antique country painting, and there were some roses at the bottom of the picture, and they were just so beautiful. It wasn't quite watercolor, but it just had this really rusticy painted look, and I just really liked that, so I wanted to go for that feel. So I started creating my rose shape, and then I'm going in and adding a little bit of depth to it by adding a darker red shade, and this is just going to add some shadows and dimension to the rose. And then what we're going to do is grab a black, and then we're going to further make some shadows. I'm kind of just filling in some of the empty spaces with the black, not all of them because I do want to leave some of that for the highlights later, but more towards the inner portion of the petal, where the petals would push together or press together, is where I'm going to place this black and create kind of some shading and shadows. Now I'm going to begin drawing on my skull. This is going to be the bottom jawline. Again, a reference point is going to be a great thing to have when you're doing any type of face painting, just something to follow along with as you go. So if you are questioning anything or you're not sure where something is supposed to go, you can look at your reference point. And also another helpful tip, when you're doing any kind of skull or skeleton or bone work, you can kind of feel on your own face where your bones are and how they're shaped. And so I'm just creating my bottom jawline now, and it kind of has that dip there. And then we're going on to our top jaw, and we have that V on the top portion of our neck. That is totally not our neck, that is our nose. And we are going to start filling in the portions like the plates on the top of our face. Now I'm going to begin drawing on some teeth. Again, reference point is a great thing to have, or if you want to do like I do, and I just put my tongue on each tooth as I'm going along so I can count and know where to place the tooth. That's just something really silly, but simple and effective when you're creating your teeth for your skull. Now I am going to begin creating our spine, and I did 5 like rectangular type cube square thingies here to create the spine, and then I sculpted out my collarbone, and then I also did make a small sternum line that I covered up later. I just didn't like how it looked, and then I created these white patches here on the tops of my shoulders. There's not really bones there, but I just liked the feel and the look of that, and I felt like it needed something else. Now we're moving on to shading. I took a light tan color, and I am going to begin the first stages of our shading and shadowing process, and I am just making small little brush strokes kind of all over the base of the teeth. This is going to not only disconnect the teeth from the actual bone, because our teeth aren't really like solidly connected to our bone or anything, so I wanted to do that, and then also just create some shadows and depth and dimension, and then we're going to do that down on the neck as well. You can shade right into the bones. It's just going to create some shadows and add some dimension. Now I'm going to move in with a darker brown color and do the same types of steps, only I am going to start putting spaces in between each tooth. I want to create some shadows in between each tooth, so you can definitely tell where one tooth ends and the other tooth begins. And again, creating small little brush strokes just to create some shadows and some depth in those teeth, and make them look more inset in the face as opposed to right there on the surface. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I am horrible at explaining myself in these things. I had debated several different times whether I should just put some words on the screen or do a voiceover, but I feel like it's a little more personal with a voiceover, and this particular piece is really close to me, so I definitely wanted to talk you guys through it, but it's really hard to explain sometimes when I'm doing these things, so hopefully not too many of you are annoyed with my explanation of things, but I'm doing my best here, so hopefully you can appreciate that. Now I am just going and shading down the sides of my neck, really creating the more 3D effect, and then I jump back to my teeth because I have ADD and I can't seem to stay in one particular place for too long. And these teeth towards the back part of our jaw, we're going to shade those a lot more than the teeth towards the front, just because the shadows would make those teeth kind of almost disappear. So make sure that the teeth towards the back of the mouth are definitely a little more shaded than the teeth in the front. Now I am adding some black to the mix. I just wanted to deepen our shadows, really make certain parts, really make certain parts of this makeup look stand out and shine, make them look definitely three-dimensional, and give them some realism a little bit. Again, making sure you use brush strokes. I don't want to blend too much because I do want this to still resemble a painting to some degree. So I wanted to make tiny little brush strokes everywhere for my shading, and I'm definitely adding that black to any of the places where the shadow would meet the actual bone, because I want that white to really, really stand out. And something I forgot to mention while my camera decided to die on me, I did add some gold highlights to the skull, but unfortunately my battery life was just not having it for the day. So now I'm making brush strokes on my neck. Again, just strokes, don't blend it or anything like that. I want it to look almost like cross-hatching on the neck. So I definitely did that on both sides, and then down into my chest a little bit, and I almost completely cover the sternum at this point, because I just didn't really like how the sternum turned out. But we're continuing to do the cross-hatching shading, and if you need to go in with your finger, a few places I did go in with my finger and just blend out here. I just really liked how that looked. I wanted it to be messy, but like a controlled chaos type of thing. Now I'm going to go in and hollow out the nose finally, just putting the black over top of the brown, so that we have this looking like it is definitely missing from our face. Now finally, I'm going to go back and add some white highlights to the rose. This is going to make the rose really pop and stand out, and I'm just adding this to the outer portion of the petals. This is where the light would naturally hit these, and I'm also filling any of the blank spaces. Also, if you have watched all the way to this point, if you can name me where this mug is from, leave a comment down below. First person to comment where this is from, what TV show it's from, is going to receive a special package from me. So yes, just my little thank you if you have been watching this entire time and made it through my horrible, horrible commentary. Now I am going to do the same gradient that I did on top, but I did just take Succubus and blood milk and kind of smoked out my lower lash line, and then I added some false lashes. They are false lashes from I.Fairy. I believe, I don't know which ones they are. I'm going to have all the products down below, and then I added some nude liner to my lower lash line, and this is our final and completed look. This rustic, rosy skeleton half skull mask thing. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm so terrible at commentary and voiceover. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get better at it for you guys. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I love you guys so much. And if you are not yet a member of our Foxy family, we are a weird bunch and we would love to have you. So if you wouldn't mind going ahead and hitting that subscribe button down below, we would love to have you. And I just love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you on my next video. Hit the thumbs up and share, and I'll see you soon. Bye!